Sweet.
Hey everybody, it's Dave here and Matt way over there. We're waiting on Flip Mazzi and maybe we'll get Jason today. The Vikings are leading by 3. However, the Saints are driving. Let's hit this roll in so we get going.
Let's do it.
We're inside 2 minutes. Win or lose. Join us on Climbing the Pockets, the final score.
It is right down the middle. It's a tie game. 25-25 with 1:51 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Pardon my language there, but damn.
Buried that kick.
Why can't the Vikings make it easy on us?
Well, here's the thing, Dave. It's. I mean, we'll get into it probably later on in the show, but it's. I'm disappointed, obviously, because it's the Vikings offense, right? Like, where is the aggressiveness we saw in week 1? You know, I think the end of the first half was just abysmal with not going for it on 4th and 1 inside. You know, I think it was a 28-yard field goal was what we got there. And then just the panic and like I don't know. And I'm a Zimmer stan, but I felt like I was watching a Mike Zimmer offense at the end of the first half there.
All day.
Yes. And the defense, yeah. The defense, for me at least, I don't put a whole lot of blame on them. They've been put in some pretty crappy spots. So I think they've done enough.
They haven't got the stops either.
That's true.
They're playing a team without their starting quarterback, starting running back, and starting wide receiver.
And starting left guard.
Oh, and Kenny. Oh, gosh. He just got stopped at like the 19 on his kick return. Kenny Wangu.
He can't recognize that Taysom Hill is going to make a play when he's in the game.
The obvious. Flip the obvious.
All right, so here we go. Can Kirk Cousins add another game-winning drive to his resume?
Yeah. Be the comeback king.
Technically a fourth quarter comeback, right? Because we were trailing.
Yeah, it would be.
So he'll get another one potentially. So they start off on the 18. Oof. Well, it's a draw to Dalvin Cook. He bounces outside and he breaks a tackle. He gets more. He gets 15.
That sounds so much like Zimmer's offense.
It was, that was like some Dalvin Cook of old. Ezra Cleveland had a nice block. He breaks a tackle off of Tyrann Mathieu and scampers up the sideline. So.
The offensive line has not played as well as we'd hoped.
Yes. So now it's 1st and 10, the 32. Kirk looks left. He fires. Going deep. Jefferson. Open. Caught. Touch. Oh, dang. Lattimore grabbed his ankles. I'm sorry to hype you up there.
I'm about to say, what?
I thought he was going to the house.
I'm not even there yet.
Just speed on the outside. Jefferson makes a great catch over the shoulder. Thought he broke it, And then Lattimore just gets his feet there at the end.
Guys, get off! Let's go! Oh, get off of me! Get off of me! I'm Justin Jefferson, baby. Let's go!
All right, so now I'm curious because
Speed.
we've knocked them on
Speed,
not
we
being
got
aggressive.
Bird.
There's a minute 24, and both teams have both of their timeouts. So now that you're in field goal range, do you just try and drain the clock here? They're at the 29.
And trust that extra point, mister.
Welcome, Billy.
Dalvin Cook stuffed. Goes nowhere.
They settle for a field goal here.
Saints will call a timeout.
Yeah, because they're going to want to start stopping the clock.
They want the ball back. You got to have a dagger here. Look at Patrick Peterson trying to talk to me bigger. Come on.
Yes, dagger would be nice. But...
They don't have them.
Oh.
They can't score a touchdown when they have the lead. Have they done that once this season? Maybe against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Kyle, I love your enthusiasm.
Justin Jefferson has, I feel like, maybe this is just me, but I feel like he's quietly had like a really productive game.
That should have been his 10th catch, if I remember correctly.
Maybe, yeah, he's 10 for 147 today, and I guess technically a touchdown, but that's on an end around there. So, all right, so they're KJ in motion. Another Dalvin Cook run for 1 yard. Timeout, Saints. So my guess is they run it again. They'll drain the clock for 40 seconds. So we're probably looking at a field goal here by Greg Joseph with about 34 seconds, 35 seconds left to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they got their big play, and they're ready to just kick it and go home, hopefully. But
this run game is trash.
let it be known if
Happy
Greg Joseph makes
brother,
the extra
Billy.
point.
Hopefully we do get it.
If Greg Joseph makes the extra point, we are just running out the clock in general here. So KJ Osborne, end around, stopped. 40 seconds from here. So
deny me some screen time. I'd be on the screen right now instead of watching the end of this game.
You'd be on the what?
I'd be on the screen.
Oh, yes. If we would have made that extra point, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're going to call timeout here. Hopefully Greg Joseph is forgotten about his missed field goal. And
Brady, you are 100% correct. We hate having to count on field goals.
All right, 29 seconds left to go. No timeouts for the Saints. My niece just texted me and said she's watching this right now. So shout out to my niece.
Cool. You got 29 seconds. I got a minute 14.
Oh boy, I'm sorry, Dave. This game's gonna be done well before. Hopefully, shit.
Yes.
Might have just.
Yeah. Hey, it's not the first final score that we've watched over time.
That's true. So it's 47 yards, right hash. Greg Joseph. Snap, spot, kick, good. Vikings 28. New Orleans, 25.
And how many seconds left? 20-something?
24 seconds.
Yes, Mary, it's tequila. I needed something today.
A mimosa sounds good, or a screwdriver, or Bloody Mary.
The game.
I needed a man drink today. However, I do like Bloody Marys, especially the day after.
All right, so So what's your prediction here, Dave? With 24 seconds left to go, no timeouts for the Saints. They don't have to get very far. Let's just nail the 60-yarder, and I think he could probably do it again.
Defense is going to stop him.
All right. I agree with Brady there. Said 24 seconds feels like 24 minutes. In Vikings world, absolutely.
Yeah, in my stream, yeah. Mm-hmm. Joseph, Kyle has Joseph as his fantasy kicker. Well,
now
there's
no
3 points possible.
There's no reason to watch now because only bad things can happen.
Oh,
so Matt, you can just
love
update
the
me.
optimism.
I love the
it is optimism. I'm on. I'm rocking CC all year.
It's 9:30 in the morning for Flip right now. He's
normally drinking whiskey
today.
I'm not drinking whiskey. I got this coffee right here.
I've already gone through my pot of coffee. I'm down to the tequila.
All right, Dalton.
All right, Skull Vikes.
Firing deep. It's caught. 45. They're in Viking territory. Harrison Smith is down with an injury, so it's going to stop the clock.
Oh my goodness!
You cannot make this up.
Oh,
I got
it. Smith is writhing in pain. I think he hurt his wrist.
Oh my goodness!
I'd rather take a risk than what happened to Lewis
Chris Olave with a great catch. Harrison Smith with the tackle. There's 12 seconds remaining, and they're at the 40. 48. They're at the 48.
That's still a heck of a long field goal.
So now you got Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus in at safety. Does this not feel like last week to you? The only difference here is that the Saints can just kick a field goal, whereas last week the Lions needed a touchdown. So
trying to see something on his hand.
All right.
I just saw the replay of Harrison Smith.
So here we go again. So they're about a yard off the field goal range. Dalton fires to the right side, incomplete. 9 seconds.
Good. Pardon me, folks, while I'm way behind watching the replay on Harrison Smith. Ooh, now it's his right wrist.
Good thing with that, though, is you can club that up. If he really is adamant about it, you can club it up.
That's what I'm saying. At least it's his hands, not his lower legs. Because, yeah.
2nd and 10. Dalton looks left. He's going to – nope, he's scrambling out to the right. He throws it, and it's – oh, wow. Is it caught? They're calling out of bounds. If they review this, which they probably will, this would get them down to about the 33.
Which would make for a 50-yarder.
Replay shows out of bounds.
Good.
I don't think he got that. This one is a little better angle. Nope. No catch, so incomplete.
Thanks, Mary. Glad he's out. Yeah, Flip. Stop watching because only bad things could happen. Where's Flip right now? He's in front of
2 seconds. 61-yard attempt here. Vikings are icing them.
Like that always works.
It might just be a Fox error, but there's 0 seconds on the clock right now.
Okay.
So 3rd and 10, there's 2 seconds back on the clock. Let's get – here we go.
Watching.
61-yard attempt by Will Lutz, right hash. Spot down, kick up. It is – we're going to overtime. Oh! It hit the upright. It's no good.
Vikes win, Vikes win.
It didn't have the distance. It looked That is nuts. I thought it was in. Let's go.
Vikings win. Vikings win. They are now 3-1.
Wow. Where did that hit?
Yes! No good! Vikings win!
Wow.
Oh, how do they say it in London? Off the crossbar. Off
Wow.
the woodwork, baby.
Damn.
Just barely. Holy buckets.
Your Minnesota Vikings, everybody, is now 3-1, coming home to play the Chicago Bears next Sunday. According to Brian Ports, the ball hit the crossbar twice.
Yeah, you'll see the replay here in just a second if you're watching this
Yeah,
stream.
I'm behind. I'm gonna.
It's an insane
Oh no,
bout
I
here.
missed it. Oh well. Hopefully they show it again. Saints deserve every ounce of this disappointment. Brady, cheers, buddy. That was good. And here comes the replay. And the kick that I'm watching. I'm behind everybody. Watching it, going through the uprights, coming down.
Let's do
Doinked
this.
off the side. Doinked off the crossbar. Did not go through. There is a God. Odin blowing on that one.
I told you there was no reason to watch the end of that game. Oh my goodness.
Doink.
All right, we should do the post-game show.
Yes,
huh?
we should do the post-game show. That's what
Now
we're
that
here
works.
for. And we want to thank everybody for joining us. Brandon, Brady, Mary, Kyle, Brian, Roger, anybody else I've missed that has joined us. Billy, of course. And what a happy birthday for your brother, buddy. Welcome to the show. This is Climbing the Pockets, the final score. We started at the 2-minute warning. We are now into post-game mode. The Vikings have won. They are 3-1, and all is good. 3-1 on top of the division as of now. Woot. Over 500.
Dang.
Oh man.
Sometimes it's better
Matt.
to be lucky than good, right?
That it helps.
Matt, give me the highlight. What's your highlight?
My highlight, for me, it's gonna sound stupid because we normally don't shout these guys out, but it's got to be the special teams. They did a tremendous job today, field position wise, turnover, the fake punt executed brilliantly, even though the offense squandered that conversion. So I'm giving my highlight to the special teams unit this week. They played well, and albeit the missed Greg Joseph field goal or extra point hurt us a little bit. We had to, make it go down to the wire. But overall, I think that unit played well.
I think that's fair. We did have that long Jalen Reagor return. We had the fake punt, like you mentioned, and Greg Joseph scored a whole lot of points today. So that kind of makes up for the missed extra point. Dave, what's your highlight?
Oh, I agree there. You had, that fake punt was a thing of beauty. The fact that we had the cojones to pull it off. And then you forgot Wayne Chung, not on this last return, but the one before, had a nice, decent return. Got it way upfield. I like that. Also drew a penalty on that play, which pushed it further, setting the Vikings up. That, after 4 weeks, the special teams looks special. They're looking good. Yeah. I wish the offense and the defense would look like that consistently, but we're Vikings fans. This team makes us drink for a reason.
Yeah. What's your highlight, Flip?
My highlight's going to be even more generic. It's going to be Justin Jefferson. I do think the Saints had a good defense. Marshawn Lattimore is a real CB1.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Jefferson ended up going, 10 for 147, the running touchdown, but more importantly, the big play at the end of the game to put us in what was the game-winning field goal range. So Justin Jefferson, people were talking about him being frustrated again, even at a point where he had like 81 yards. It's just all talk about people trying to read into the sidelines. He had a good game pretty much throughout the game. Was warm and then made the big play at the end. I love that, and that's what you get when you have an elite wide receiver. He showed it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10 receptions, 147 yards, and a touchdown on the ground on the end around. So it's a good bounce back game for him, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It was much better, and the offense seemed a little bit more well-rounded. You had Adam Thielen with some key catches all over the place. He had 8 receptions for 72 yards.
And, the offense was not well-rounded. It was not well-rounded.
Now, as in who they were targeting.
The run game was terrible. The KJ Osborne had what? 2 targets today? That's not
well, yeah, you got a point there, Flip. But it's
Kirk Cousins today. See, because I get called out for not knowing my numbers sometimes. So Kirk Cousins today was 3 for 6, 23 yards, and an interception when targeting tight ends or fullbacks. We still continue to throw those guys the ball. I don't know why. KJ Osborne, all 3 of those receivers should have at least 5 targets a game. That's all I'm asking.
We'll set that for a goal next week.
I mean, I thought so. I don't know if you guys went out and read the article I wrote just about Adam Thielen, but I thought he bounced back decently today with eight receptions for 72 yards. I thought there were still some other opportunities for him to get the ball. You kind of see from some end zone views that he was open, but yeah, I agree. I wish KJ would have been involved a little bit more instead of the tight ends, but.
Well, as G-Mac pointed out, Kirk's placement today was a little off.
Yeah.
In a lot of spots. Even Thielen and Jefferson, it was off.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
They should have caught those balls.
We don't have to stay on this long, but what do you think about that pass in the end zone there where it was behind Jefferson, but he definitely got his hands on it? Do you think, is that on Kirk, that on Jefferson, that on both?
I think
it's what I'm talking about?
It's probably on the offensive line, number one. Offensive line, number one, I'd say. And then Justin Jefferson, make a special catch when your quarterback's under pressure. I don't put that on Kirk at all.
Okay.
Kirk should have placed it better.
I put that check down on Kirk.
It wasn't exactly. They're not playing up to speed like the special teams. They're still a little off. If you get that tuned in, this will be a much better offense. And yes, there was a lot of pressure today. We'll get to lowlights. Let's do
lowlights.
As much as I hate it, has to go to the offensive line. They were letting pressure, even off the outside. Brian O'Neill, who we just hyped up as the number 1 offensive tackle in the league, was getting beat today. Mm-hmm. And whether it was interior or outside, it didn't matter. Across the board, they were getting beat. Now, Kirk had some time on some of those and still held on, but there was way too much pressure allowed to be generated today. And a lot of times this is only by 4 defenders rushing. Now, they didn't handle the stunts and the blitzes well, but it was... The low light of the game should have been the offensive line because they did not play up to what they've generated for expectations already so far this season.
Yeah, that's fair.
So why am I the guy when I see the offensive line playing bad in the second quarter? Why am I the guy who's overreacting? Why am I the guy who made the call too soon? You don't know that, Flip. It was just one bad rep. You're only looking at one play. No, the
Are you
people
are you
who were
are you talking
the
about today's
people
game or last
the
week?
No, he's talking
people
about today's
who were
game. This morning.
overreacting, the people who were overreacting were the people who said this offensive line was fixed after 3 weeks of football. After 8 years of sucking, you see 3 games, and that's enough for you to convince you that the offensive line is fixed. You got to be kidding me. But I'm
Do
the
you
one
not
who's
remember?
overreacting.
Do you not remember what the offensive line used to look like, Flip?
What is your
Like it
definition
was.
of fixed? Is your definition of fixed like the 20th best offensive line in the league?
I
It
mean, I
wasn't
don't
that.
have it up with me right now, but they were better than that through 3 games this season.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say they're not better. I didn't say they weren't improved, but fixed means that we don't have to worry about it. Fixed means that you can look over here and you know that thing is not going to break. And they broke today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there were definitely some holes in the protection for sure, and they did not have a great game. But I'm not going to sit here and say that they're just like dog shit again. Like,
Okay, but are you worried about them next week?
no, especially not against the Bears.
Okay. Okay. If you're not worried about them, I think you should be. I was worried
So
about them going into this game. This performance today was not unexpected. That's all I'm saying. Of
Well,
course
it
they're going to
shouldn't be
struggle when they
unexpected.
go
This
against.
is the
Yeah.
Vikings. This is a Kirk
Yes.
Cousins led team for the last 4 years.
They're going to have offensive line struggles. It's going to cause Kirk to check down or miss passes. It's just why this offense isn't exploding the way we want them to. That's a
see
huge part of
it,
it.
and I think that's more my frustration here is we were sold a bill of goods that this offense was going to be elite. Justin Jefferson was going to be in the Cooper Cup role, and today he was. Like, I will give Justin Jefferson credit. He even left some stuff out there on the field. There were a couple drops that I thought he probably should have made, so that stat line is probably even better. But this looks like just a glorified Kubiak offense. Like, there's nothing different that I'm seeing on a week-to-week basis, and yeah, I don't know. I said every week on my show I'm expecting an offensive like blowout performance, and I thought when you're going up against a team that they're missing their starting quarterback, they're missing their starting running back, they're missing their starting left tackle, they're missing their starting wide receiver 1, and they still let up 25 points, and they couldn't put that team away from an offense perspective, because if they're aggressive, if the Vikings offense is aggressive at the end of the first half, you're looking at being up 17-7, 21-7, and then you're putting Andy Dalton in throw mode, and you just send the defensive lineman right at him, get some pressure, and we can walk out of London kicking the Saints' ass. But instead,
Easy, well rested.
Instead, we're sitting here. Now Harrison Smith's hurt. We lost Lewis Seen probably for the season. Granted, we didn't know what he was going to be, but still, your first-round rookie, like, that's a lot. I don't know. The offense is pissing me off in more ways than one. But I'm glad we got a win. But they need to take some time on this. I hope they're not sleeping on the flight home, because, you asked the question last week, Flip, about if we avoided a bad loss or had a good win versus Detroit. And I said we had a good win. We avoided a bad loss this week. We avoided a bad loss. And the Vikings should be watching film and figuring out how the hell to be electric on offense, because if they show up next week versus the Bears and they run it this close.
Yeah. But they're racking
way.
up W's. That's the name of the game.
They're
Against teams
3-1
should
chance
win.
to go 4-1. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
Rant done.
my
Sorry,
low
you can
light.
go, Flip.
My low light. No, the low lights are clear here. The offensive line, the defense is just. I mean, how is that offense with those players, so many injuries, and they still put up 25 against us? That might be the worst defensive performance this year because of who they were playing against. But my low light is 3 carries for Alex Madison. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing to have Dalvin Cook coming off a shoulder injury. I know he was a full participant in practice this week, but there's just no sense of a shared workload. Why are we dressing 4 running backs when we're only going to give one of them 90% of the carries. Very disappointing to just, to see the Saints, without Alvin Kamara, splitting carries between Latavius Murray, Mark Ingram, both look fresh, both were very effective. And the Vikings, just Dalvin Cook got worse over time that game. And it just give us some more energy there. Give us some more pop out of the backfield.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think Madison looked good on that screenplay for the touchdown, and I feel like he deserved more opportunity. There's a comment I saw. It's just fueling into my anger for the Vikings offense.
Great comments today. I can't believe we do this y'all do this every week with us. I can't believe we watch this. How do we do it? But Matt,
Aaron,
go ahead.
I'm not like singling you out, but I see your jet lag comment, and I see there's a winky face after it. So you're probably joking a little bit, but these guys are professionals. Like, this is their job. Jet lag is not an excuse for me. Jet lag is not an excuse. If you're an East Coast team and you're flying to the West Coast and you have to play there or vice versa, that's not an excuse. You're professionals. Show up when you're asked to play.
So do you think they got the sports science wrong when they were talking about fitting out the plane with 50 day beds and just having all 50 players sleep on the way over on Thursday when the Saints got there on Tuesday? Do you think they got that call wrong? Do you think they were lethargic this game, or do you think it's just typical Vikings football?
Well, I'm sure going from all of their sleep number 360 beds to Dalvin Tomlinson laying in a day bed on a jet across the ocean, I'm sure that really rejuvenated them and got them ready to go for this game. But I thought they looked fine at the beginning. They just took their foot off the gas and they just couldn't get going.
Yeah.
And they just kept settling for field goals because they had some sort of mentality in them that was just like, it's the Saints. We'll be fine. We'll just take the points. We'll get it on the next drive. Well, they kept the Saints in it the whole goddamn game. And then we had to – it's not a miracle. I mean, you should go down and score against them like they did at the end. But
I don't know, man. Like it took 2 bounces off the field goal post for us to win that game in regulation. That's a mini miracle.
That's why I said at the beginning, it's better sometimes to be lucky than good. And when you speak about luck this game, I mean, there were some questionable penalties. Tyrann Mathieu hands to the face against Jefferson, which extended the drive. Marshawn Lattimore's PI, which initially I was like, yeah, he's definitely holding. But after the Mike Pereira came on the air and was kind of walked through it, I probably agree that it probably shouldn't have been called. There was a little bit on both sides there. But they got bailed out last week too. I mean, who was number 24 on the Lions that just extended that whole drive? So luck will run out eventually. And so they just need to figure their stuff out, because I'm happy, but I'm nervous if this is the performances we're going to keep getting.
G-Max got me cracking up. They had to let that schmuck Taysom Hill score too.
I know. What is he getting paid? Is he still getting paid $20 million? I'm sorry, Dave, I cut you off.
Well, it's what is funny. Aaron said if you had money on the Saints and puke. The only deal was before the game, the line changed to Vikings -4. Vikings won by 3. So if you'd pick the Vikings at that line and not the 2.5 it was earlier in the week,
I think he was talking money line. So where do we go from here, boys? What's on tap? Sunday against the Bears. We got a full day today to watch where the rest of the NFC, how they perform. And then we've got a Bears matchup. Are we feeling good going to that Bears matchup? And are we feeling better than if we had lost today? I mean, to me, this game against the Bears at home after coming back from London, huge opportunity to go 4-1. And if you don't, you've got the Miami Dolphins. Now, Tua got injured on Thursday.
Teddy Bridgewater.
It may be Kirk Cousins versus Teddy Bridgewater, with the Vikings 4-1 versus the Dolphins 4-1. That is a real situation we could be talking about. So next week, I don't know how a loss to the Bears would even set you up for a good performance in Miami. Certainly don't want to be going in 3-2 in that game.
A loss to the Bears is a defeat. It's a failure. If we lose to the Bears, it's a failure. From the top on down, Kevin O'Connell on down, that would be a failure. The Bears are not anywhere close this season. And if the Vikings lose, it's a failure from the top on down. They should not lose.
Okay.
I'm with Dave here. There is, if they don't go home and blow out the Bears, then
I'm not going to say blowout, but
they need to
win.
So I got 2 counterpoints. First is the Bears are 2-1 going against the Giants today, so we could easily be looking next week. 2 3-1 teams. 2 3-1 teams. And number 2, I don't think we can ask this team to blow out anybody right now. I mean,
I wish we could.
We should.
No.
The Bears are better than the Saints team we played today.
You know what scares me about next week is we saw how they handled playing Jalen Hurts.
Didn't like that comment. Yeah.
We saw how they handled playing Jalen Hurts. Wait till they play Justin Fields. And I'm not saying Justin Fields is like Jalen Hurts, but he's got the improvisation aspect to his game. He can scramble.
He doesn't have any other choice.
He can get out of the pocket. And we've talked about the lack of speed on defense. And now you might be down Harrison Smith next week. No one knows about that injury quite yet.
Club that sucker up. It's only a wrist or a hand. Club it up. You don't need. He can still tackle. He hits hard enough to tackle. Club it up so he doesn't get an interception. Hey, too bad. Hit harder.
It'd be a nice game to get. Well, I guess Cam Bynum's playing all year. It sounds like after the Lewis injury.
And I have no idea how that went. All I heard was it was gruesome.
Yeah, I saw some videos circulate on Twitter. I am not gonna watch that, but
not gonna watch it. Not gonna watch it.
I hope it's not as bad as what it appears it is going to be. But yeah, hopefully he can be healthy and back for next season.
If Andy Dalton is carving this defense up, I'm not going to say Justin Fields can do that, but the Bears do also have a strong run game. And Teddy Bridgewater could very well carve this defense up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Smart football. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Bears game is a must-win. It's a must-win game. I'm calling it already.
Yeah. Everybody got that? Flips
I would agree with that.
A must win.
And I'll rescind my blowout take for next week, but it needs to be convincing. Like it needs to be a convincing victory. Like I don't want to see this like 4th and 1 kick a field goal kind of stuff. Like if you're down that close, punch it in. Let's keep the pressure and just win a convincing game. Week 1 was like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Week 1 was like that. And the whole idea of flying late was so they didn't have as much adjustment on the backside for the Bears game. We'll see how it works.
Right. Just go to London late,
Business
just ease past the Saints, in and out, no big deal. And then get back and prepare for the Bears game. That went well. That did not add to our stress this morning at all, that plan.
Thielen literally just had a comment at the podium that says that's the best he's ever felt in a London game.
Really?
Okay.
Good for him.
Okay. How many has he played?
That's his
7?
third, right? His third London game.
He's been around for so long.
At least for third. Hey, let's go over some defensive highlights real quick. Patrick Peterson did not lead. He had 3 tackles, 2 solo, 2 pass defenses. Especially in the second half, he looked better. I was surprised. Harrison Smith, 6 tackles. Eric Kendricks, 8 tackles. A quiet 8. I didn't see Kendricks hardly at all, except for when he was on the sideline. Jordan Hicks, 7 tackles. Daniil Hunter, 3 tackles. Our only sack came from Zadarius Smith. We had Jonathan Bullard with 1 tackle. We go on down. Dalvin Tomlinson had 4. Shannon Sullivan had 5. And Shannon Sullivan had that real good where he diagnosed the play, sort of like a screen, and he took the guy out, denying the first down. Troy Dye was in there for Kendricks when Kendricks was out. Metellus. Cameron Bynum had 6 tackles. Good for Cameron. Hopefully, I don't like seeing safeties with a lot of tackles. That means the ball's getting back there. And
hey, shout out to Chris Boyd.
Wanham,
Chris
5
Boyd
tackles,
with that huge,
1 sack.
Yeah,
huge Chris Boyd forced fumble and recovery.
So
yeah,
the
defense didn't look turned that turnover into 3 points. How many points off turnover did we get this game? 6.
Also give a shout out here to Dalvin Tomlinson. I thought he played a really, really good game today, and he was a notable presence on that defensive line. So I think even late in the game,
he got a sack.
He ripped through that offensive line and made a great tackle for loss. So I'm glad that he's playing well.
Now, I'm not going to give Kirk any slack. I'm not gonna go Kirk mode.
That's comeback king to you, Flip.
No, that interception was garbage. That interception was garbage.
Back-to-back weeks of comebacks.
He led us to another comeback win.
Anyways, all right. Any last questions? Go, this should be the speed round. Questions by the viewers. Do you guys have any of them?
If anybody,
where's this audio coming from?
What audio?
I'm not hearing anything.
I got something going on.
If you go to the UK Vikings Twitter page,
Uh-huh.
You can see Kirk Cousins and Chris Boyd grittying off the field at London.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I don't think it'll
just
really
gritty
show
on, gritty back onto the U.S. boys.
Yeah, show it.
Oh, there we go.
Freddie, did you like that game?
What a game, man. Skull. It's too early.
James asked, are the Vikings a top 10 team?
I got to make some pancakes.
By record, yes.
They're right.
Are they a top 2? Who's the 10th best team in the NFL right now?
There was only 2 undefeated teams, so
I'd have to pull up the standings right now.
Said there's only 2 undefeated teams in the whole league.
The 10th best team by record right now are the Green Bay Packers.
Well, they'll beat the Patriots today, so they'll move up.
Hopefully.
And I feel like we could go to. Do you feel like we could go into Lambeau and beat the Packers right now?
I mean, they don't look great either. So I mean, the NFC North is open. And I'm glad we're clutching out these wins early in the season because it's going to matter later.
Mm-hmm.
Rack up the wins.
But the Packers have not shown that they are a favorite by any means.
No, I just think it's again, the wins are great. I think every Vikings fan has that dread that, we could very much be looking at a playoff appearance, but maybe not fare too well in those playoffs. But that's 3 months away. So for now, let's just enjoy the victories and try to improve when we can, where we can. Beat the Chicago Bears.
We're in October, folks. Yeah.
And celebrate that win. I love just the the Saints fan who spent all that cash flying over to London just to watch Andy Dalton and Latavius Murray
Gosh, what is this, 2016?
and Tyquan Smith double doink off the post to lose the game. Enjoy your bangers and mash, Saints fans.
All right. What have we got going this week? I know Monday we have Tyler Fornes and the Real Forno show. Tuesday, and I'm sure he'll be going into great detail about Kirk Cousins checking down or something to that effect. Tuesday, because he's monitoring that all season. Tuesday, we have Viking Hot Takes. Your partner in crime, the great one and only Eric Thompson, was at the game. He was there along with fellow CTP member, our CTP Germany representative, Jonas Stark. They both were at the game. They watched it. Eric will be back hopefully Tuesday to tell us a little bit more about it and bring his hot takes. Not that Flip will have any. Right, Flip?
Eric's going to be jet lagged, and all my takes are the same.
Not an excuse. He's a professional. It's not an excuse.
Eric's going to be jet lagged. We'll think of some hot takes setting up for this Bears game. Let's see how the Bears look today.
He'll be fine. And then on Wednesday, we have Vikings Happy Hour. Last week we had Matthew Collar, and Matthew Collar was a little testy this morning on Twitter if you were following him. What did you... Matthew Collar, if you missed the show last week, go watch it. It's a good setup, and then relive what we just saw. It's not bad. But who have we got this week, Matt?
No guests lined up, so it's probably just the normal crew, unless somebody, comes out of the woodwork here. But me, Miles, and Ryan, along with you, Dave, it should be a fun show. I know Miles has some thoughts on this game, so you'll probably want to check his takes out. It's been a couple weeks.
And then we get back down again to the pregame show with me and my buddy Darren, the two old bloggers, for the Bears. But if you have not seen, yesterday we had it in our focus yesterday, what's wrong with Justin Jefferson? I want to thank absolutely everybody that's watched it. That show has sort of gone viral. There is something wrong with Justin Jefferson. I do appreciate all the typical, there's nothing wrong, move on. Without even watching, yes, there was something reported to be wrong. Did we see it today? Maybe not. Maybe they found it and got it fixed. That was our whole point. Anyways, but I'm sure we're going to have, well, that wasn't rumored. That was reported by a Slay. But we're going to have something hopefully as controversial coming up next Saturday as well. Maybe that,
controversial.
The Bears are good. Do you believe that?
Nothing is more controversial than a Flip message in the DM chat. No matter what I say, I can't even say the offensive line is struggling. These film guys come out of the woodwork to tell me about max protect and how you counter the blitz. Nothing can be more controversial. We just should have one big DM for all of our audience, so y'all can just see how they come at me in the group chat.
Yeah,
for
it's
when
pretty
Kirk
brutal.
Cousins gets under pressure.
It is brutal. But it's funny. Anyways,
It's a good time.
Any last words, guys, before we sign off?
No, this was a good show. We can have a full day here with a Vikings victory, so let's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
3-1, 28-25, beat the hated Saints. I really wanted to see Jameis Winston throw a couple picks our way, but beating a redhead is the next best thing for a Vikings fan. So go Vikes.
Skull Vikings! Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and rate us on your favorite aggregator. And a special shout out goes to our partners, the Daily Norseman, where the best Vikings content can be found, and to Lake Monster Brewing, home of the best beer in Minnesota. This has been a Climbing the Pocket and SB Nation's Daily Norseman broadcast. Skol, everybody.